Well, everybody, we're going to turn our attention now to Monster Fest because Monster Fest is Australia's biggest,
Spooky. Sorry, just couldn't
it
help it.
is Australia's biggest cult and genre film festival. And this year it's on in Adelaide, Brisbane, Melbourne, Perth, and Sydney. So, Harley, you've got all those dates there, I believe, for Monster Fest this year.
Yes. So the biggest run, of course, is in Melbourne. So it runs from October 4th to the 12th at Cinema Nova. And then in Sydney, Brisbane, Adelaide, and Perth, it runs from the 4th to the 6th of October at Event Cinemas. So the Event Cinemas in Burwood, Brisbane City, Marion, and Innaloo. And you'll know how to match those up based on where you live. So yeah, check
Yeah.
them out. There's some good stuff, and it's a bit longer in Melbourne because they got some extra features. Do you want me to mention them now and get them out of the way?
Yeah, so I thought we'd go through and just take a look at some of the films that are screening as part of Monster Fest this year. But yeah, go ahead.
Yep. All right. So the Melbourne Festival will have a closing night party to end all parties. They're really going for the party theme. So killer party. Maybe there's a film in the making here. Party to Death. I don't know. But yeah, that'll be in collaboration with Brunswick's Stay Gold on Saturday, 12th of October, with Miles Brown on deck until ungodly hours. So yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. We've got some extra special showings as well in Melbourne. The festival will feature three repertory screenings, including an all-new restoration of filmmakers Josh Collins and Alex Shandon's 1997 Mondo Bizarro Pervarella, which I hear David really wants to see. And also thinking of David, a 15th anniversary screening of The Final Destination 3D. That's a very popular with you, that series, wasn't it?
Yeah, do you know what's really weird about that though? That means that my wife and I went on our first date 15 years ago because we went to see that movie on our first date.
Oh, well, you both have to go to that. That is a must. You both have to be there for that. Or unless you want to go to 1986's Critters. Do you remember Critters?
Yes, I do.
My
Yes.
God. That was one of those things I remember as a kid. Like I don't clearly remember the film, but I always remember Critters, and I would always see the trailer as well. I think we had it on video somewhere.
Yeah,
It's one of those, yeah.
I think I've got it on VHS as well.
I think, well, I'd say we had it, which probably means, taped off the TV or something. I'm sure we liked to buy the media, but poor family, so don't expect high moral value from us. But yeah, there's lots of really great stuff on by the look. So yeah, do you want to lead the way?
Yeah, so this is going to have the premiere here in Australia for Terrifier 3, which of course is the horror film that everybody is looking forward to for this year because Art the Clown is back once again. And in the lead up to that, Monster Fest is going to be screening both Terrifier and Terrifier 2 in the lead up to Terrifier 3. It's also going to have the premiere of the brand new Hellboy movie as well, The Crooked Man.
Yeah,
Um,
very excited for that one personally. I love Hellboy, so looking forward to that.
Yeah, and this one feels like it's got a little bit of a personal thing to me as well because I was actually there when Mike Mignola announced that this film was happening at obviously the Supernova, or one of the conventions here in Melbourne. So really excited about that. But I got to say, one of the things I've always loved about Monster Fest is the fact that they support Australian cinema like absolutely no other festival do. And
Yeah.
if you're going to be on our website and stuff over the next couple of weeks, you will see a lot of interviews with directors of these films, like some of the Aussie directors I'm talking about there. So, um, just flicking through and looking really quickly, we've got Scurry, which of course is from director Luke Spark, who did the Occupation Rainfall movies over the last few years. The Occupation films that are about an alien invasion here in Australia and kind of reminded everybody around the world that Australians still know how to shoot sci-fi on a very, very low budget and make it look really good. One I'm really excited about, Addison Heath is back after the success of his last film, The Viper's Hex, with a movie called An American Masquerade. And Harley, you would love what Addison does because Addison films basically guerrilla style around Melbourne, except for the Viper's Hex. I think he went to Hong Kong and shot
Ah,
some of it as well, guerrilla style.
oh,
But
nice.
yeah, but he always does an amazing job. So I'm really looking forward to that as well.
And just to clarify, David is not saying he acts like a monkey with a camera.
no,
He's just being very sly with the way he films.
yeah. Che Barker, who wowed Monster Fest audiences a couple of years ago with his short film VR Grandpa, he is back this time with a feature called States of Mind. So I'm really, really looking forward to that as well. Not an Aussie, but Jason Trost, who, if you are a lover of indie genre flicks, Jason Trost will mean a lot to you because this guy has been making films for years and years and years now on low budgets in America. He's just filmed a new movie called Waves of Madness, which is being described as a cross between Resident Evil and Silent Hill. That is showing.
Yeah, it sounds interesting. I wonder how that'll end up because we all have kind of expectations if you've probably played the games as well, so you get an expectation of what that's going to be, but at the same time you don't want it to be a total kind of rip off of or parody of that either. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see what that's like.
Yeah, so another one of the Australian films showing is Fear Below, and you'll be hearing from director Matthew Holmes today on this show to talk a little bit about that. You'll also be hearing from uh, director John Ballals as well, who's going to be talking about Freelance, which is another one of the Australian films. There's a absolutely bonkers B grade film from Estonia showing called Chainsaws Were Singing. We're going to take a
I
look.
noticed that title and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, so there is so much going on at Monster Fest this year. You just know a lot of people are going to want to come along and check out Hellboy, and they're going to want to check out
For sure.
Terrifier 3 because they're the big ones. But go and have a look at some of the Aussie films as well, in particular. But also go and have a look at some of the shorts. Not very many film festivals anymore have short film programs in the way that Monster Fest do, but Monster Fest have these student short films. Um, they've got Grim Visions shorts, which is the darkest corners of horror from right around the world, and of course the annual event that Dick Dale puts together here for Monster Fest, the Trashorama A Go Go series of shorts. Dick Dale gets the gross out horrors, bad taste comedies, sick and twisted animations from all around the world and puts them together in this very, very special afternoon. So,
Yeah, I gotta say that one sounds Yeah, that one
yeah,
sounds really interesting. I'm kind of keen on the Trashorama thing. So
yeah.
yeah,
And if you're a music fan too, there's one that you might want to check out. It's a documentary, and it's a documentary on the life of Stu Spasm, whose real name was Stuart Gray. Now, he is most known here in Australia because he was in a band called Lubricated Goat, and they decided to go on the ABC one night to do a live set and appeared nude on live television. Um, so, so this new documentary takes a look at Stu. It's called I Should
with
Have
some
Been.
behind the scenes footage. Huh.
Yeah, so it's called I Should Have Been Dead years ago. But yeah, that's one of the
Ah, I
highlights as
see.
well to go and check out, I think, as well. So yeah, like, and we're very, very lucky that Monster Fest is showing in all of the cities that it's showing in this time around. So it's not just limited to Melbourne and Sydney, but there's a little bit of for everybody that if you're into genre cinema.
Yeah, there's some weird and wonderful things I've got to say based on what I've read of the um the films here. So yeah, I think it would be a nice mix of things to go and check out. So hopefully this time around I get to go and check some of them out.
Yeah, and
Um,
also there's another one I
yeah,
should mention too. It's called Generation Terror. That's a documentary that has a look
yeah,
at the horrors of the 90s and the early 2000s. It's got interviews with Adam Wingard that made Your Next, Rob Zombie and his Devil's Rejects, Neil Marshall who did Dog Soldiers, and yeah, that's a must see documentary if you're a film buff as well.
absolutely agree. Yeah, I would love to check that out too.
But yeah, so head along and check out Monster Fest. And of course, we will be keeping you up to date with everything that is happening on Monster Fest on our socials and also subcultureentertainment.com. There will be a lot of interviews going up there that unfortunately can't make the show. So yeah, I guess check them out if you want to check out those interviews and also our reviews of things as they go up as well.
Absolutely. And we'll keep them coming. If you're really impatient, I think some of them go up on our Patreon first. So,
Yeah,
yeah, check that
they'll
out too.
go Yeah, they'll go up on Patreon as well, but they'll also go up on our socials while we're at the different events as well. So yeah,
Yep.
you might get a couple of reaction videos for Terrifier 3 and stuff like that going up there as well. But we should head back to the music on our show right now, but make sure you
Yes, we should.
do go and check out Monster Fest because there is a little bit of everything for everyone.